Ó milẹ̀ títì. Success Radio Ìbàdàn ìkànnì ayé ń gbọ́. Ó ń sẹ́lẹ̀lẹ̀. Ó milẹ̀ títì. Success Radio Ìbàdàn ìkànnì ayé ń gbọ́. Ó ń sẹ́lẹ̀lẹ̀. Ó milẹ̀ títì.
Thank you so much for being there. This is Eco Pointer on Success Radio in the city of Ibadan. On this program, we do business information, business news, business analysis. We talk about investment, we talk about economic activities. Business news from the government point of view, from the private point of view. What is the government doing economically that affects you, that affects me, that affects what we are doing? And what is happening on the street? What is happening in town? What is happening in business setup all around the nation and the world? My name is Kolawole Kayode. Kolawole Kayode on Eco Pointer Success Radio Ibadan. Appreciation to the management of this radio station for giving us the opportunity for you to be able to listen to us. Plenty truckload of information is here for us to share today. And as we have also said and always saying that when it comes to business information, you don't make it only your own. Inform others about it. Let others be part of it. That is why you need to share this information. You can connect us live on Facebook and on YouTube. Just type in Success Radio Ibadan. You'll be connected here live. And as we say, you don't make it your own alone. Make sure you send it to your contact. Share with the page with your contact. Let them like it and follow what we are doing. You never can tell. It may be the person you share the information to that will become your customer that will buy from you. You know, in the business world, you can't be the buyer and the seller at the same time. You can't be the producer and the consumer at the same time. If you are the producer and you are the consumer, you are not making wealth. When you produce, somebody else has to buy from you. If you sell, somebody else has to buy from you. and it is through that we create wealth, we make money, and we prosper. As we have a platform, this is a radio station, we cannot be having this kind of platform and also be marketing only ourselves. No. You, our listeners, have to come and market yourself on our platform. Tell people about what you sell, tell people about what you do, and that is how prosperity comes. A lot of information is here for us to share today, and for us to get involved, you need to send your comments today. If you have a question, please send your question, send your comment, be part of this. The first news, the first information I want to share today says subsidy palliative. NLC leaders walk out of meeting with federal government. Have you heard about that information? A business economic information that has to do with things that have to do with businesses, work, job. This information is saying federal government asks Russia to establish factories in Nigeria. Have you heard this? The Lagos state government slashes transport fare by 50%. Were you also part of this yesterday, 7 p.m.? The President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, the CNC, addressed the nation yesterday, and most of the things he said were economic issues. That's why we are bringing it here on this program, Eco Pointer, this morning. Subsidy palliatives. NLC leaders walk out of meeting with federal government. The leaders of the Nigerian Labour Congress, led by Joe Ajaero, they walked out of the meeting with the federal government representative, the meeting that is called Presidential Steering Committee, and that happened on Friday, 28th of July 2023. Why did they have to walk out? Every one of us expected negotiation, arrangement towards the issue of the fuel prices and the hardship in the economy. What is happening, the kind of life people are living, that it is not so suitable, not so easy for Nigerians at the moment. And the NLC is representing the labor, the workers, the unions in Nigeria. So many Nigerians are expecting negotiation with the federal government, at least to bring succor and be able to get some relief. But the information says NLC leaders, the representative of the worker, they walk out of the Presidential Steering Committee meeting on Friday, 28th of July. What was the reason behind this? Why did they do what they did? the NSC leaders are saying that the federal government is not being sincere, that they are trying to deceive Nigerians. How? What happened? What exactly happened? What did they see? Why were they making that kind of accusation? Further information make us to get this, that there are 3 other subcommittees. You know, the committee that is working on how to bring relief to Nigerians, working with the NLC on how to bring relief to Nigerians due to the fuel subsidy removal, is the Presidential Steering Committee. Besides the Presidential Steering Committee, there are 3 other subcommittees that are working with the Presidential Steering Committee. And these 3 other subcommittees, their work is so germane to whatever the Presidential Steering Committee will do. One of the the subcommittee, is the Mass Transport Subcommittee. The other one is Compressed Natural Gas Subcommittee. The third one is Cash Transfer Subcommittee. Now, the Mass Transport Subcommittee is to work on what the federal government is going to do such that people can be, transportation of the masses will be easy and the prices will not be so high. That is what that subcommittee is to work upon, because most of the complaints now has to do with transportation, that is movement of goods and people. The transport fare has gone up so high. So the Mass Transport Subcommittee is to work on this aspect and be able to come up with a report to the Presidential Steering Committee. Their report will be part of the report of the Presidential Steering Committee, and whatever the final report is, they'll be able to bring it out to the government and Nigerians and say, okay, this should be the way forward. This should be what we are supposed to do. So the Mass Transport Committee, they are so germane, and whatever relief they are able to conclude on is going to help Nigerians. The other committee, the second one, is the Compressed Natural Gas Committee. The Compressed Natural Gas Subcommittee is to work on how to use the compressed natural gas as a substitute to petrol, whose price has gone up, and in what areas Nigerians are to use the compressed natural gas, how to use it to power vehicles, generators, engines, and what are the devices that Nigerians will need to be able to use compressed natural gas. If compressed natural gas, if its own price is so low and Nigerians are able to use the compressed natural gas, it will bring a lot of relief. Instead of we complaining of the petrol that is costly every day, if you're able to get compressed natural gas maybe at 100 naira per kg or 200 naira per kg, that will bring a lot of succor to Nigeria. So the subcommittee on compressed natural gas, they are also to bring their own report to the Presidential Steering Committee that is overseeing the general issue on palliative. The third committee that is working with the Presidential Steering Committee, that are working along with the NLC, is the Cash Transfer committee. The cash transfer committee is to work on how the direct cash relief to vulnerable Nigerians, how the money will get to them, what means will be used to get the money to them, how will they ensure that people who should not get don't get, and people that should get eventually get, so that we will not be feeding those who are already fed. This committee is to come up with their own report also to the Presidential Steering Committee. But Labour said when they arrived at the meeting with the federal government representative at the Presidential Committee meeting on Friday, these three committees were not there and they are not going to bring any report. This is what made Labour to be angry, according to the report that we had. And Labour said, okay, what exactly are we to sit down to discuss? What exactly are they to sit down to talk about if the subcommittee, whose job are so germane to whatever we have to discuss, the issues we are to discuss are what these subcommittees are to work upon, and we are to speak on their report, then we'll be able to come up with a conclusion. If these subcommittees are not there, then what are we doing here? So Labour staged a walkout. Labour walked out on the federal government representative. That was what happened according to the report that we had on Friday. And remember that Labour has said there will be a nationwide strike by tomorrow, Wednesday, 2nd of August, 2023. And the meeting on Friday where Labour worked out on the federal government representative will be the fourth meeting with representative of the government since the issue of subsidy removal have been a very serious concern to workers, to Labour, and to Nigerians. This is another economic information. This information is saying the federal government is asking Russia to come and invest and establish factories in Nigeria. The Nigerian ambassador to Russia made this request to Russia in Moscow that Russia as a nation should come and localize the production of their goods in Nigeria. All the things that Russia do produce. Refrigerator, ammunition, clothes, shoes. You know this AK-47 rifle that our police, our soldiers use commonly, they are actually made in Russia. Plus many other goods that are produced in Russia. You know, Russia is one of the most advanced countries in the world. The Nigerian ambassador to Russia made this request in Moscow, and it was made during the second Russian African Summit. And the essence of it is that if Russia begin to establish companies in Nigeria, there will be more factories and there will be more jobs, there will be more investment. Another thing they are trying to emphasize, the representatives of Nigeria were trying to emphasize to the Russians, is that yes, Russia and Nigeria would like to trade, but Nigeria will prefer investment and financing to trading. Please come here and build your factories in Ibadan, in Iseyin, in Shaki, in Lagos, in Enugu, in Kano, in Maduguri. Don't only bring your things to sell to Nigerians. Please come and establish those factories here. That is what we need. That is how we want to develop our own economy. I want to believe that this information is good news to commuters, commuters, passengers, people are moving from one place to another. Lagos slashes fares by 50%. For as many who are going to Lagos, there's a relief for you. You may not need to spend as much as you used to spend on transportation. And that will possibly reduce the cost of the goods and the services you are going to buy in Lagos or to sell in Lagos. According to the government of Lagos State, all transportation fare charged by state-owned transport companies, state-owned transport system, is to come down by 50%. That is, the place where they charge 1,000 naira before, they will now start charging 500 naira. The places where they charge 1,600, they charge as much as that in Lagos. If you go through BRT in Lagos, you pay, you buy the ticket. Some place you pay as much as 1,500, 800 naira, 700, 400, 300, like that. So the place where you pay 300 before, you now start paying 150 naira to the BRT system. The place where you pay 800 naira for transportation before, you now start paying 400 naira. I really want to believe it's a big relief to Lagosians and people that trade, do business, or has one connection or the other with Lagos. And there is hardly any part of Nigeria that has no connection with Lagos, including the political leaders. Beyond that, it will not only be limited to the government, Lagos State government owned transportation system. The government of Lagos State is also saying that they are making arrangements with private commercial buses. They are the informal transportation system in Lagos to also reduce their transport fare charges by 25%. The privately owned commercial vehicles will also not be charging as much as they used to charge before. They will not charge something less than what they charged before. The place they've been charging 600 naira before, they will now start charging 450 naira. The place they used to charge 800 naira before, they will now start charging 600 naira. The place they've been charging 1,000 naira before, they will now start charging 750 naira. But listen, this is transportation within Lagos State only. Interstate transportation from Ibadan to Lagos, from Benin to Lagos, from Ondo to Lagos, from Ijebu-Ode to Lagos are not affected. Because those ones are not within the powers or jurisdiction of Lagos State government. And we also need to take note of this, that all this relief, the transportation palliative, so to say, by Lagos State government, if you are in Lagos today, which is on the 1st of August 2023, you may not enjoy this palliative. If you were in Lagos yesterday, you may not enjoy this palliative, but the government said this palliative, this reduction in transportation costs in Lagos will start by Wednesday, which is tomorrow, 2nd of August 2023. You are listening to us on Success Radio Ibadan. You can connect us live on Facebook and on YouTube. Just type Success Radio Ibadan. You'll be connected to us live. The program you are listening to is Eco Pointer on Tuesday morning. The new time is now 10 a.m. This information, the presidential address yesterday that we all listened to, most of all listened to the presidential address yesterday, and these are economic information from that address. The CNC, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, addressed the nation 7 p.m. on Monday, 31st July 2023. And from that address, we got all this information which are economic. In fact, most of what the president said yesterday was economic. One of them is this, that from the address, we can deduce that there is no going back on fuel subsidy removal, because the president made us to know that that decision has to be made in order to rescue the nation from the hand of few people who are pocketing the money that is meant for the generality of the nation. So there will not be going back on fuel subsidy removal anytime soon. It is like a decision made to rescue the nation. And in that address, the president is rolling out a lot of palliative for businesses. He said in the address that there is a 75 billion naira set aside for 75 companies which are big enough to change the economic situation of Nigeria. So each of them will be able to access 1 billion naira each, and 75 of them. And through their effort and their activities and their economic activities, they will be able to employ a lot of Nigerians. They'll be able to add more to the economic activities of this nation. And that loan that they are going to get, at least 1 billion naira each of them, they'll be able to pay back within the period of 60 months. And the interest on the loan will be a maximum of 9%, not the 30% or the whatever, loans from commercial bank that are whose interest are so high. It will not go that way. This one is a special intervention from the federal government. 75 large-scale firms, 75 big companies in Nigeria. But who are going to have access to this kind of fund? The president also tells us of 125 billion naira set aside also. That one will be for medium and very micro businesses. Out of this 125 billion naira, it is divided into two. There'll be a 50 billion naira and there'll be a 75 billion naira. The 50 billion naira will be for people possibly at the grassroots that will be able to access 50,000 naira each. $50,000 for each one-man business, micro business, small-scale businesses. So that 50 billion naira will be distributed that way to many homes in Nigeria across the nation. The president also talked about another 75 billion, not the first 75 billion, another one. And he said that one will be for a kind of medium scale businesses that will be able to access about 500,000 naira to 1 million naira. And they will have about 36 months to pay back. And the interest on that loan will not be more than 9% also. Medium businesses, medium scale businesses, 500,000 naira to about 1 million naira. The president also talked about palliatives to transporters in the nation. He said there is plan already on the way that they want to bring in 3,000 CNG buses. CNG buses. Now, the meaning is that these at least 20 passenger buses will be able to transport people, and it will not be using petrol, it will be using compressed natural gas. And the government will distribute these buses to transport firms, the formal transport companies, and possibly the National Union of Road. I know surely they will get. There is also palliatives to education, students in particular. The president specifically said that it should not happen again in this nation where Nigerians will not be able to access education because of money. He said the loans will be available to Nigerian students, and that he has also approved buses that will take Nigerian students from wherever is their location to their various campuses to relieve them of the high cost of transportation to go and do their study in schools. How many buses will be available for each institution, each university, each polytechnic, each college of education, each monotechnic? How many buses will be available for them, and which location will those buses be that will move them? Well, that details we don't have it yet. I will want to also say on this platform, this is a business platform, this is a business program, economic program. We're also saying that the 3,000 buses that the federal government is talking about, what is the government doing about conversion of the existing vehicle in Nigeria, conversion of the existing vehicles in Nigeria to gas-powered vehicles? And why am I emphasizing this? Why are we emphasizing this on this program? We are very sure that 3,000 buses is not enough, is grossly inadequate to transport Nigerians. So for us to bring a relief, the federal government needs to look into how to convert the petrol-powered vehicles to gas-powered vehicles. And you know what? That will also create a lot of jobs. What the government needs is to bring in, to train our technicians, our mechanic, our rewire, and the rest of them that deal with vehicles on how to convert the petrol-powered vehicles to gas-powered vehicles. Our mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, and all sorts of engineers, the ones that are trained in universities and the ones that have been experienced, and many others, all of them need to start working on this. Possibly the federal government need to work with them so that we can convert even engines in companies, engines used in production for manufacturing. We can convert them from diesel powered, from petrol powered, and convert them to gas powered engines. These are things, if the government go in this route, the government will be able to create a lot of jobs for Nigerians and economic activities will boom up again. Because I can emphatically say that 3,000 CNG buses will not solve transportation problem in this country. And of course, we will be able to discuss more on this in the next edition of the program. We so much appreciate you for being there today. On this note, we shall be running off today on the program Eco Pointer Success Radio Ibadan. I want to appreciate my producer in the studio, Oladimeji, who has been there. And I want to appreciate the management of this Success Radio who has given us the platform to connect to you back at home. I look forward to connecting you again on this program by next Tuesday, 10 a.m. in the morning. My name is Kolawole Kayode. Meet me again on this platform on Sunday on the School of Marriage Secret by 5 p.m. on Sunday. Thank you so much for being there. Bye for now.
Unselele. Omilletiti.